Welcome back to the cabinet room. Today we are doing something a little uncomfortable. We are reviewing a cabinet brand that we do not sell, Wolf Classic. And before we say one word about it, you should know exactly where we are standing. We sell Fabuwood. We are a Fabuwood dealer. So when we tell you Wolf is good or that Wolf has a problem, you know which way we are likely to lean, and you can discount us where we deserve it.
And that disclosure matters because cabinet shopping has an honesty problem. Every design build firm, every general contractor, every big box store tells you their own brand is the best in the industry. They cannot all be the best. What is missing is not information. What is missing is anyone with nothing to gain. We have plenty to gain, so we are saying so upfront. And then we went and read Wolf's own published specifications and warranty documents, rather than repeating what the rest of the internet says.
So let us start with the question everyone actually types into Google. Are Wolf cabinets good?
Yes, genuinely. Wolf Classic is a good cabinet at its price. All plywood box, solid maple dovetail drawers, assembled in the United States. And I will go further than that. The box joinery is arguably tighter than the brand we sell. But there is a catch, and it is a big one. Wolf Classic is not one cabinet. It is sold in tiers, and the entry tier has no soft close hardware at all.
Okay, that explains something. Because if you search Wolf Classic reviews right now, it is chaos. One review swears soft close comes standard. The next swears it does not come at all. Some quote a 5-year warranty, some quote a lifetime warranty. Occasionally on the same page. Why is it such a mess?
Because both reviewers are telling the truth about the cabinet they actually saw. Wolf Classic splits into series. The upper series uses a mitered door, undermount full extension glides with a soft close mechanism, and hidden 6-way adjustable soft close hinges. Step down to the value tier and the hardware changes underneath you. The Saginaw door style uses side mount epoxy glides and a hinge with no soft close mechanism at all. Dartmouth, Hudson, and York get the full treatment. Saginaw does not. Same brand, same catalog, same 2 words on your quote. Very different cabinet.
So if you get a Wolf quote that comes in well under a comparable brand, you're telling me that is not the bargain it looks like.
Usually it is not. It is a different tier. This is the apples to oranges trap that every homeowner senses and nobody can quite name. 2 quotes, same 2 words at the top, different hardware inside, and nothing on the page tells you that. So here is the single most useful thing in this episode. Ask your Wolf dealer which Wolf Classic series the quote is written for. Get the answer in writing. And if a quote arrives with no series named on it, send it back.
All right, let us talk about the box itself. And this is the part where, as a competing dealer, we would love to tell you it is weak.
And we cannot because it is good work. 1/2-inch plywood throughout. Sides, back, top, and bottom. No particle board where it counts. The side panels are glued and stapled into a dado in the front frame. The back is glued and nailed into a dado. 3/4-inch solid wood corner blocks. Drawer boxes are 5/8-inch solid maple, dovetailed. And here is why that matters. A panel set into a glued dado resists racking far better than a panel that is simply stapled to an edge. If you have ever watched an installer wrestle a cabinet into a wall that is out of plumb, you understand why. Wolf Classic also carries KCMA A161.1 certification, which is the industry baseline durability standard, and it is not a given at this price.
So where does Wolf actually lose ground?
Painted doors. On the painted Hanover, Dartmouth, and York styles, Wolf uses HDF styles and rails with an MDF center panel, not solid maple. Now, be fair about this. The MDF center panel is the correct choice, and every good manufacturer does it because solid wood panels move with humidity and crack the paint at the joints. But the frame is a different question from the panel. A solid maple style takes a knock from a cast iron pan better than a fiberboard style does, and it can be repaired if it gets gouged. Paint your kitchen white, live in it for 15 years, and that difference eventually shows up at the door corner nearest the dishwasher. On stained finishes, the gap closes, because Wolf uses solid maple there.
And the hardware? Because this is the point where most dealer pages would simply declare their own brand the winner and move on.
And that would be lazy. Wolf's upper series ships grass hinges and grass undermount glides rated to 75 pounds. Fabuwood, the brand we sell, ships Blum. But Grass is a serious Austrian hardware manufacturer with American production. A grass undermount soft close glide is a well-engineered part, not a no-name mechanism. And the test that actually matters is not the logo. It is whether you can still buy the part in 10 years. When one glide finally starts to drag, you want to walk into a supply house, say a brand name, and walk out with the replacement. You can do that with Grass. You can do that with Blum. So on hinges and glides, honestly, both brands pass.
We wrote that sentence. And then you found the thread that complicated it.
I did. A landlord with Wolf Classic shaker cabinets lost the bins out of his pull-out trash unit when a tenant moved out. Completely ordinary problem. He ordered 6 different replacement bins. None of them fit. So he called Wolf, and Wolf sent him back to the dealer he had bought from. That dealer had gone out of business. He ended up on a cabinetry forum, begging strangers for a part number. And it turned out the unit was not a Wolf part at all. It was an older, unbranded original equipment pullout. Replacing the whole system outright would have run him about $350. That is the 10-year parts test failing in real time. And it is not a hypothetical we invented to sell you something. It is a real person on a public forum this year.
So the honest line is hinges yes, accessories no.
Exactly that. Wolf's hinges and glides are grass, and grass parts you can source. Wolf's interior accessories, the pullouts and the organizers and the waste units, are not branded, and when your dealer closes, there is no thread back to the manufacturer. Fabuwood's accessories clip into the Blum standard, which is the entire reason they stay sourceable a decade later. We were happy to call the hardware a tie. On the parts you touch every day, it is. On the parts you will need to replace one day, it is not. And pretending otherwise would have been the polite lie rather than the useful truth.
Now the warranty. And I want to flag this one hard because if you own rental property, this is the most expensive thing in the entire episode.
Search this brand and you will be told repeatedly that Wolf Classic carries a 5-year warranty. That is out of date. Wolf upgraded Wolf Classic to a limited lifetime warranty for residential purchasers, applying to material delivered from early 2024 onward. So, homeowner to homeowner, the warranty comparison that everybody keeps repeating is now a tie. But here is the fine print. That lifetime coverage is written for the original residential purchaser. Commercial purchasers get 5 years. So if you are buying cabinets for a rental portfolio or a spec flip, you are the commercial purchaser. You are on a 5-year clock while the homeowner down the street is on a lifetime one. Same cabinet, different terms. Read that twice if you own rentals, because it is not in the reviews ranking above us.
And then tariffs, which is the part where we give up ground.
We do. Since October of 2025, imported kitchen cabinets and vanities have carried a 25% Section 232 tariff. The scheduled jump to 50% was pushed back, and it is now set for January 1st of 2027. So the rate through 2026 stays at 25. Now, what does that mean for the brand we sell? The tariff applies to Fabuwood. Our components are made overseas, the company assembles and finishes in Newark, New Jersey, and that imported content is dutiable. We are not going to pretend otherwise. Any dealer telling you their import brand is untouched by the tariff environment is either uninformed or hoping that you are. Wolf assembles domestically and carries a majority of domestic material, so it is partially insulated. Not immune, because the tariff is written to cover imported parts, not just finished cabinets. But if a domestic supply chain genuinely matters to you, Wolf Classic has the better story, and it is not a fake one.
So, the verdict. Who should actually buy Wolf Classic?
Buy Wolf Classic if American assembly matters to you, if you want a domestic supply chain in a tariffed market, or if you prefer the discipline of a smaller, curated catalog. The box is excellent. The upper series hardware is legitimate. The certification is real. Just confirm the series in writing, and if you are buying for a rental, understand that you are on 5 years and not a lifetime. Buy Fabuwood instead if you are painting the kitchen and you want a solid maple door frame rather than fiberboard. if you want Blum hardware and the accessory range that sits behind it, or if you have a very specific color in mind and want a real chance of finding it.
And one last thing before you walk into any showroom, ours included. Bring something with you. Wall measurements and a rough sketch, even a bad one. It does not need to be right, it needs to be yours. A written cabinet list so that two quotes can actually be laid side by side. The series question in writing on every quote you collect. And a question about what is excluded, because trim and moldings and fillers are where quotes hide their differences. Show up with nothing, and the designer runs the entire conversation.
And one from the showroom floor, which applies to every brand, including ours. The inspection that predicts trouble is not the box, it is the delivery. The overwhelming majority of warranty headaches start as freight damage that nobody photographed on arrival. Open every carton in front of the driver. It is the highest value 20 minutes of the entire project.
We would sell you Fabuwood because that is what we carry and because we believe in it. But if you listen to that tariff section and something in you said, you would rather buy American, then go buy the wolf. You will not have made a mistake, and we would rather tell you that than watch you talk yourself out of the cabinet you actually wanted. The full written review with the spec by spec table and the series breakdown is on our site at iscabinets.com. Thanks for listening.
Bring your measurements. Ask which series. We will see you next time.